What is up, guys? Welcome back to World of Warship Legends with Durka. Today we are in the Tier 6 Japanese destroyer Akatsuki domination match on shards, and we're going to be talking about what makes these ships great, kind of how they compare to all the other destroyer lines, and then some of the things that I do to get better performance out of them. So here at the beginning, as a destroyer, you need to be moving up so that you can start spotting the enemy team for your team. So we move towards A. We're going to be cautious about getting into the cap, but try to get in there and see if we can start capping. Here in a couple minutes, you'll see we check the leaderboard here or the to see what other ships are in the game, and we kind of need to know what destroyers that I might face here in ACAP, Benson, Icarus, and also to know if there's any radar cruisers, and those things might keep me from being so aggressive here at the beginning. So there's a little smoke cloud over there, but I'm going to try to position my ship to where I can make a quick escape. And usually in these situations, I always go nose out and I go ahead and do the engine booster, just so that I can make a quick escape if I need to. So this match is going to kind of show that these Japanese destroyers are the ultimate domination ships. Using their good concealment, it's easy to get back and forth across the map, easy to get these caps without being spotted. And as we'll show, we'll be able to go from one side of the map to the other, capturing all the points. And I don't want to say winning the game for our team, but maybe so. So the Japanese torpedo boats kind of have to be a little cautious with them. They have the lowest health pools out of any other destroyer in the game. Their armor's on par with the others, maybe a little lighter. Their HE shell damage is very good, and we will put that to good use in this game, generally firing from cover or firing in a situation where I know the enemy will not be able to fire back. They are going to have the best in class torpedoes, kind of rivaled by the French torpedoes, with the longest range and some of the higher damage values in the game. And then again, the concealment is going to be best in class, and really the best in World of Warship Legends. So, while usually it's not a good idea to abandon your cap or the side that you spawn on, at this point the two battleships that were with me on my team, they had already left, and there's a cruiser over there, and I wouldn't have a chance. There's nothing I could do against that cruiser, so I do go ahead and start sailing to the middle of the map. It's a German cruiser. He has sonar. Plus, he's sailing so far out there that it would really be kind of a waste of my time to mess with him. So we're going into the middle here. We want to keep spotting, keep launching torpedoes as much as I can this game. So on the spectrum of destroyers, the Japanese destroyers, they're on the, let's say, the far left, and we'll put a graphic up here on the screen, and they are really good torpedo boats, good concealment, good torpedoes, not the best armor or guns. And then in the middle, we have kind of the British and the German destroyers, which I would kind of call hybrids. You can kind of spec them for more of what you want them to do, if you want them to be torpedo heavy. And then we have the American gunboats, and then the Russian and the French destroyers. So while these are called torpedo boats, it's important to remember that they have guns, and if used situationally, they can be very powerful, which this Benson is soon to find out. I always try to shoot or fire them when I'm getting into a position where they can't fire back at me. In a one-on-one heads-up fight, the Benson would eat my lunch, without a doubt, but by using tactics like this, he's not going to get the chance. I do think that he was going to rush around this side of the island, so we do kind of a shotgun blast. And while I would never expect to hit anything with a widespread shot like that, if he came around the island, it would force him to maneuver and hopefully keep him from getting all 5 guns on me. But he stayed over there, so we switch back to the right here. And we're going to kind of get prepared. Wait for him to come around the edge of the island here and blast him. And we have some support from our Gaiade here. But here shows the kind of the ability of these guns. We pop him for 3,000 in the side, knock his engine out, and that is game over for him. And if you were kind of watching me there with the throttle, adjusting it to kind of throw off his aim. Now, this part's kind of important to pay attention. If you look at the mini-map, there are two concentric circles. And we have the inner blue one, which is our concealment, our detection range, and it's 5.1 kilometers on this ship. The bigger ring is our firing range, but it's also the range that I can be detected while firing my guns. So by watching the map, I know that I was okay to fire here because no other ships were in range to spot me. The Colorado was on the other side of the island, and the battleships up by sea were too far away to spot me. So something to keep in mind. Always keep an eye on your two circles, especially the inner circle, the blue concealment one. Anytime a red ship passes within that circle, they're going to be able to spot you and you will show up for the entire enemy team. So kind of as demonstrated, I really like to use these ships for that one-punch ability. Their guns hit really hard. They have a slow reload, though, so if you get the opportunity to shoot right as you disappear, it's the perfect way to use these ships. And again, the poor survivability we kind of talked about. These do have the lowest HP pools in the game. As a line of ships, these would be, you know, they really focus on stealth and speed and kind of attacking from the shadows, launching torpedoes from afar. They have really good agility. They aren't the fastest ships in the game anymore. They've really been kind of overshadowed by the French destroyers, but they are still quite speedy as we are getting up to about 42 knots here coming across to sea. So we've kind of abandoned, our team has. The destroyer just popped up over there, it looks like. But we are going to go ahead and move into C, try to spot these battleships for our friendly guys. I believe there is a Nelson and a P.E. Friedrich. We want to spot them, get some torpedoes down, all while we're getting this cap, and that's just the name of the game in domination. I'm kind of telling them it would be nice if they could get up here a little closer, be more supportive. I don't know what you're going to hit that far away in a Russian battleship anyways, but that's okay. So we do flip back around here after we launch these torps, and you'll see that I try to use the edge of the island for concealment while I can fire my guns from cover. Now, it's important to note here also spotting. It's something that's not really talked about in World of Warship Legends. In the PC version of this game, there are actually spotting medals that pop up in the top right of the screen. And if you are the sole ship spotting an enemy ship, you get medals for it. And it's not quite a thing in Legends. Maybe it'll be something they implement in the future, but it's an important role as a destroyer, and especially as the Japanese torpedo boats, it's one of the biggest things that you could do for your team. So we go ahead and get that German battleship out of here. We're going to back up and hopefully use these back guns to shoot at the Nelson. From here we can fire and he still can't see us. It's actually the center point of your ship, or the tallest portion of your ship, is where the game identifies spotting. So by kind of parking here, I have the front part of the tallest part of the ship still behind the island and obscured from him, so that I can kind of shoot with impunity and there's not really anything that he can do about it. So the Nelson goes down. We have a pretty commanding points lead at this time. And as a tactic for these Japanese destroyers, even if the rest of my team were dead at this point, it's possible that just by points alone, I could disappear, use my concealment, and win the game just like that. So at this point, I think we do start heading back towards the middle of the map. There's not much really else that we can do over here on this side. Try to get a couple more torpedoes on this guy. While these ships do have really long-range torpedoes, it was kind of a learning curve for me to realize that you don't have to launch them at max range. You know, considering this guy's almost 9 kilometers away, but I could get within 5 kilometers and he still wouldn't spot me. That's something to remember. If, you know, say for the opportunity allows, try to get closer so that your torpedoes have a better chance or a higher probability of hitting the target. So we are going to sail back to the middle here, and this one's kind of winding down. They're down to 3 ships. We have a good points lead. So we will go back over here towards B. And I guess this guy flips a U-turn and starts sailing back over this way. Which at this point in the game, he should just be pretty much rushing into one of the caps trying to flip it. Or, you know, they don't really have a chance of coming back. But I suppose we will get one more kill, and then that will wrap it up for this one. I think here I was just maybe waiting to get a better torpedo shot on him. The Akatsuki has 3 triple launchers, which make it really great to keep cycling through the torpedoes, and sometimes it can be a helpful tactic to kind of shoot a couple at a time so that you have them staggered throughout the match, rather than doing what I do here and just launching all 9 at once. It kind of makes it easy to know for the enemy players, you know, when you're going to launch again. They can kind of count in their head, watch the timer, and know that I have a, you know, a minute and 15-second reload. But if you're launching 3 here and they're kind of staggered 20 seconds out, it's really hard for the enemy to predict what you are doing. Hard for them to time it. Now he is just sailing in a straight line, which makes this really easy. And if we weren't so far up on points, I probably wouldn't have shot at this guy in the open water. But I know the game's over. And cool guys don't look at explosions. And that is pretty much gonna wrap it up for this one. Shout out to my teammates on this one. This was a great match. So while there's no medals for it or anything, it is a thing that you're getting XP for spotting, and it's just something to remember even though the game doesn't really show you. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this one. We'll cover another destroyer in the next one. So if you guys like the video, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Lots more World of Warships coming. All right, thank you.